is enough said.
What's up, Heat Nation? Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Guys, please show some support for the channel before we get started. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe as we continue our push for 6,000 subscribers. Now, please join me as we go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. It's Taco Tuesday. Woke up this morning, blessed day by God. Thank you, Lord, for giving us another day. I know times are tough here right now, Heat Nation. The Miami Heat lost a whopper yesterday. The Heat get destroyed by the Cleveland Cavaliers, 138-83. Damn. It was bad, you guys. Miami Heat lose by 55 points. Back-to-back stinkers, man. Franchise record losses in both Game 3 and Game 4. I'll be honest, Heat fans. I know a lot of us didn't feel that the Miami Heat were going to win this series, but I know a lot of us thought they would at least keep it competitive. But to lose by over 30 points in Game 3 and 55 points in Game 4 in your home floor, embarrassing. I saw a Miami Heat team that quit. I didn't see, a lot of fight besides Nikola Jovic. Nikola Jovic comes off the bench yesterday, 29 minutes, gives you 24 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Nobody else cracks 20 points. Tyler Hero gives you 4 points, 1 for 10 shooting. Bam Adebayo gives you 13 points and 12 rebounds. Solid game, 6 for 13, but nothing to brag about. I saw a Tyler Hero that quit, honestly. After Game 2, Tyler Hero made a quote that he needs Jimmy Butler to win a championship. When he said that, you can just tell that this is a guy that was going into a playoff series potentially confident and then saw what happened those first 2 games in Cleveland and thought, holy crap. This is way tougher than what I thought. In the Boston series, Tyler and Miami were able to squeeze out 1 last year. Miami couldn't even squeeze out 1 in this series. Not competitive at all. You make it competitive at Cleveland, but then you go home in Miami and you get the shit knocked out of you. So, pretty embarrassing, you guys. The writing is on the wall. I'll say this, you guys. You've seen what a Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero-led team gets you. Last year, Jimmy Butler was injured. You played Boston in the first round. You're out in 5 games. This year, you do a mid-season trade for Jimmy Butler. After the trade, you go 12-21. You have a 10-game losing streak. You can't really get this team acclimated together, but you think with the starting lineup of Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, and Kel'el Ware, you can at least compete. No. You're stuck at the 10th seed. You get swept in the first round. So a Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero-led team, at best, is going to get you to the playoffs, but you're not going to be able to win a series. So the writing's on the wall, you guys. And the Miami Heat are going to have a lot of difficult decisions to make this offseason, you guys, because when you look at their numbers... Oh, before we move forward, I forgot to mention, first and foremost, I want to wish condolences to Kevin Love. It was reported yesterday that Kevin Love's father passed away. This was the reason why he was away from the team a lot, due to personal reasons. Kevin Love, I've lost my dad before. I know how tough it is. A lot of us have lost our parents, whether you're super famous person or dead poor. When you lose a parent, it's tough. It's hard. So my condolences to the Love family. Anyways, getting on to what I was talking about. The Miami Heat are going to have a very, very difficult 2025 offseason, you guys. With the current contracts that they have, they're about $178 million in a full salary. Now, that is under the first and second apron, but they're flirting with those apron lines. Now, I did mention that the Miami Heat are going to have some flexibility this offseason in recent videos because they're not going to be an apron team. But you're going to have some tough decisions to make. Duncan Robinson, who will be making $19.8 million this offseason. The Miami Heat have an early termination option where they can release Duncan Robinson by July 8th. And if they release Duncan Robinson, his contract will only be guaranteed $9 million, which you can spread for 3 years. So it'll only be $3 million off your space for 3 years. Not so bad. So if you decide to waive Duncan Robinson, you may have a little bit more flexibility. But I think the Heat are going to try to include Duncan Robinson in a trade package, but teams are going to know that, so I don't think Duncan's going to hold a lot of value unless that team thinks, hey, let's trade for Duncan and release him. You're also going to have Terry Rozier making $26.6 million next season. Good Lord, what a terrible trade that was. I really don't think Terry Rozier is going to have a market. You could package your first round pick, the 20th pick in Rozier, to a team like, I don't know, Brooklyn or, a team that's going to have cap space where they can look at Miami Heat to take Terry Rozier, but to take a draft pick. But I don't want to give up that draft pick. I think that draft pick can help us, so I'm not really a big fan of that. You also have Andrew Wiggins, who completely flopped this playoff series. I know he was dealing with a hamstring injury, but Andrew Wiggins is making $28.2 million next season. This team is basically built off of Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware. Those are your three corner pieces. You also have Andrew Wiggins. You have Kyle Anderson, Haywood Highsmith, Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic. Nikola Jovic is showing his value. You also have Pallel Larson. So you're going to have some pieces, but I'll be honest with you, Heat Nation. I know I've talked about the possibility of the Miami Heat making some trades. And believe me, I think the Heat are definitely going to be players this offseason. But the problem is you're going to be competing with a lot of other teams that are going to have way more assets than you have. So I think one thing the Miami Heat fans are going to have, and I know Heat fans are going to hate that I'm saying this, we may need to have some patience for this offseason. We may, unfortunately, see that this is the team that we're going to see back next season. You're going to have to see Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero lead this team for another year, with Andrew Wiggins coming back, hopefully a training camp with Wiggs on this team can do something. Your biggest thing that you need to do this offseason is bring back Davion Mitchell. At what cost? Because if you re-sign Davion Mitchell and you're bringing this team back, you're going to go into the apron. So you need to figure out what you're going to do there. Alec Burks is a free agent. Do you bring him back? These are all little decisions that the Miami Heat are going to have to make. Are you going to move Kyle Anderson? What's going to be done about Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero? Are you going to keep them? Are you going to move them? The Heat need to decide what they're going to do with this team, because this is a mediocre team at best. The record shows who you are. And this Miami Heat team won 37 games. Next season, what can they do? Maybe win 40 games, another play-in tournament. That's what you're going to see from this team next year. So maybe it's time to blow it up. Maybe because you don't have all this draft capital and assets, see what you can get for Bam or Tyler. For Bam, you can probably get 4 first-round draft picks. For Tyler, you can maybe get 2. Look at what Utah did a few years ago with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. They moved them to get as much draft capital as they can and rebuild on young players. So maybe that's the direction that the Miami Heat need to go. Maybe the direction is go after another splash this offseason. See if you can add Kevin Durant to this team. But is that really going to make us a contender? We need to understand, you guys, that what we had with Jimmy Butler was special. Those 6 years that we had Jimmy Butler was incredibly special. And I think the Miami Heat fans have been a little bit gifted with all these amazing runs. Sometimes we need to learn how to have some silver years in order to have some gold years. And right now, you guys, we're in the silver time. So what's the best idea to do? Build around Tyler and Bam, try to get another superstar player, or move our best assets to get as much draft capital as possible? I don't want to move Tyler. I don't want to move Bam. These are our guys. But sometimes you need to understand that you need to do what's best for the team. Bam Adebayo is a guy that if you plug him in, you're an instant contender when you're another team looking at Bam. Tyler is a guy that's a bucket getter. You're going to make a decision on Tyler's extension. Do you give it to him? Do you not give it to him? I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a really tricky offseason. Changes definitely need to be made. But we're probably going to have to wait until 2026 if we want to make a big splash. Because by 2026, that's when you can possibly have over $80 million of flexibility in your draft space. So I'm curious to see what the Heat are going to do. But Heat Nation, I want to hear from you. What do you think is the best option? Do you think the Miami Heat should look for that whale, but probably not get it because you're going to be competing with other teams like Oklahoma, Houston? Do you think the Heat should revert? Go the other way. Rebuild. Try to get as much draft capital as you can for Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. See what you can get. Or do you think this team is just going to come back the way it is and fight for 2026? Let me know what you think, Heat Nation, in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe as we push for 6,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for the continued support. Look, it's been a tough season. It's been mirrored with drama, mediocrity, bunch of mid-crap. Maybe we need some changes in the front office. I don't know. But we're going to have a lot of fun this offseason, Heat Nation. I got a lot of ideas. I have a lot of new content that are coming. I've been waiting for the offseason to do it. I didn't want to do it now, so look for that very soon. Thank you guys for this continued support. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. And that is enough said.